Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for logging in and taking the time out of your day to join my little tutorial on how to achieve this look. As you can see, I have half of my face done already, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the process of how I did this look. And yeah, I'm just gonna wait a few moments to make sure everyone's logged in. Good morning to everyone. So yeah, my name is Anthony Nguyen, and I am a Los Angeles-based makeup artist. And I've been doing makeup for about over 10 years now. So yeah, let's talk about this makeup look. I pretty much designed this makeup look for my dear friend Brooke Candy for a stage performance in Las Vegas. And we kind of improvised this look together. And I'm going to go ahead and do this look pretty much a version of the makeup look on myself using my favorite Mac Pro products. If you guys have any questions, make sure to shoot them down below and I'll do my best to answer them the best I can. So yeah, I already blocked my brows down and I have a layer of foundation on the other side. I really love using Studio Fix Fluid. This is basically more of obviously a theatrical look, so I wanted something with a bit more coverage. Studio Fix Fluid is one of my go-to foundations for myself personally because I'm super, super oily. And it has silica in it to absorb the oil and silicone to fill in any fine lines or pores. So this is a really great foundation for that option, and it's medium to full coverage, very buildable. So I applied that foundation with my sponge. So basically, let me just touch up a little bit over here. And I'm gonna apply some over my lips, just to kind of make everything more of a smooth surface. Okay. Also too, what's great about this foundation, it has a little bit of SPF 15, so just a touch of protection. All right, so let's just jump in and get started with the contour. One of my favorite contours is the Pro Face Palette. This is super useful for your kit. It comes in 4 different shades. I am choosing the darkest shade here for myself. And I'm going to go ahead and use a sponge that's wet. And I really love using cream products because it's easy to blend and move around. And so I am just going to start with my cheekbone right over here, and I'm just going to tap the product on. I don't really like to shift the product because it might move the foundation underneath and you don't want to disrupt that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tap the product on, and I'm following the line from my ear up to my lip, you know. And I am going to shade the face so that it photographs nicely. This look that I did was basically a stage performance look, so you want to make sure that things show up on stage, so you kind of have to exaggerate certain things. And a lot of the times with the hot lights, things get lost. So you have to make sure that you shade a little more, some extra TLC. Okay. And I'm just going to go right underneath the jawline here. And you always want to make sure to pull the color down further so that it's not just a stripe of color. You want to make sure it's nice and blended further down so it's not so blunt. Okay. Again, I'm just tapping this product down and I'm bringing it lower to my neck and maybe just a little bit on the side of the nose. I hope everyone's staying safe during this crazy time. During this lockdown, I did a lot of makeup looks on myself, just to kind of stay creative and, you know, keep the art alive. So it definitely helped me keep my sanity with makeup. What have you guys been doing? Let's see. Okay. I like to use two different sponges, usually one for the contour and one for the foundation. So you don't mix the two colors too much. I'm just gonna go on the side of the head here. The forehead. This is my very first time going live on YouTube, so I am super excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much, Mac, for having me, and thank you guys for joining. Let's see, Kay Stanfield, doing makeup also for sanity and praying more. Yeah, we could sure use some prayers. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm just going to finish off the contour later, but I just wanted to show you guys this contour palette that works really well, and it's a great kit staple. For concealer around my eyes, normally I do a bit of highlight underneath, but because I'm dragging this, the eyeshadow so low, I just kind of kept it a bit more flat. I'm using Studio Finish Concealer. These palettes are great. They come in a bunch of different shades, also a great kit staple. I'm using NW25, and I'm just tapping that all over my lid. And I also dropped it down below. I'm gonna be using this as an eyeshadow base, okay? So the main color for this look is basically the Chromaline, and I'm a huge fan of the MAC Pro Chromalines because they're super pigmented. It's a cream product and super easy to use. Now, usually pigments like cobalt blue, I notice that every time I use this pigment, no matter what brand, it does happen to grab ink a little differently. So when you use products like this, it tends to shift a little bit. So that's why I'm going to be layering this a little differently. I'm gonna start off with the black eyeliner all around my eyes first to kind of set the shape, if that makes sense. Because if I were to do the eyeliner on top of this cream product, it might crack. So I'd rather just reverse it. This is a technical liner. Technical liners are great because they don't, they shift around, they can move, so it's great as an eyeshadow or as a base. And once you set it, it does not move. So right now, again, this is technical smolder, and I'm just going to shape my eyes with the black. And because I have a mono lid, I'm just going to raise the color higher and pull the shape outwards just so it could accent and frame the eyes. Let's see. So this is just going to be the initial shape. I kind of want it to be a bit feline, like pulled out. This look was on myself. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit Susie Sue. So a bit of like a punk shape and a little bit of David Bowie, a little bit of disco. Yeah. Also too, smolder is great on the waterline. I'm just going to get a sponge and I'll pull that down and go right into the waterline. And later I'm going to set the eyeliner with Carbon eyeshadow, which is a super matte black pressed shadow. And just to kind of exaggerate the eye shape, I'm going to go ahead and darken the center of my eye here, just to really exaggerate the shape. You can kind of already see how much that exaggerates the eye. And I'm gonna pull this out just a little more. And it doesn't have to be super neat, as long as you have the correct shape, and then we could just blend and shift things around later. Okay, so now that I have my shape on, I'm gonna go into a fluffy blending brush. This is the 217 brush. So because this is a creamy product, it's really easy to blend. Actually, this is a really nice look even by itself. Okay. This look was basically inspired by when Brooke Candy was performing in Vegas. She had this really awesome bodysuit with cobalt blue stars all over it. So when I saw the outfit, that's what inspired me to do a look with stars. And I wanted it to be, I've always wanted to do a look with stars that's really blown out, kind of like galaxy eyes. And I was also really inspired by Vincent van Gogh paintings like Starry Night, where it's like lots of stars, and I just loved all the blue shades, and I kind of wanted to tie those two together. Okay, so now that we have the black, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the cobalt blue chromaline, and this color is Marine Ultra. I'm going to go in with a flat, large brush here. Let's see, I'm already getting, okay. And the reason why I'm choosing a flat brush is because I'm just going to tap the color on and kind of layer the color and pull it downwards so that it kind of creates like a blended effect. Let's see. And because it's a flat brush, I can kind of have a bit more control of the shape. So right now I kind of wanted to box this area out so it's a bit geometric and bold. And I'm just going to lightly tap the color on just so I can kind of see the shape. And then once we have that on, I'm going to enhance the color with Atlantic Blue eyeshadow. Okay. So that way, you know, you could see like I'm layering the blue right on top of the black. If I were to do it the other way around, if I started with my blue, because it's a cream, once that dries down and I were to drag on eyeliner on top, sometimes it could get a little crunchy. So that's why I decided to do it the other way and start with the eyeliner shape and work around that. That way I won't run into that problem. And that doesn't always happen with all Korean products. It's just certain pigments. Like with this specific blue pigment, it does dry a bit differently. Same with like blue ink or like paint for the walls. Pigments tend to dry and apply differently. Okay, let's see. Boom. Hi, Ivan. Shablam. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shout them out. I will definitely try to peek on over. Let's see here. Yeah, this look originally, when I tried it on myself, it was actually quite small, and it just gradually got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I ended up really liking the way how pulled out it got. I guess it gives it more room for more glitter. And who doesn't want that? Let's see. Okay, so again, like you don't have to be so opaque with the pigment. And as you can see, it's a bit like painted on, but it's not, it doesn't have to be super opaque because once we add the shadow on, it'll enhance the color. Right now, I just want to focus on the shape. I really want to create this swoop here, so I'm just going to bring that color down. Okay. This also reminds me when I was younger, one of the ways that made me fall in love with makeup was the club scene. I used to kind of be a little club kid and do really crazy makeup looks and just experiment that way. So that was one of the first introductions with makeup, was doing makeup on myself with, you know, different like club kid style makeup or a little bit of drag. And yeah, I just love experimenting with color and textures, and this look kind of reminds me of that. Okay, so I think we have the shape down, and I'm feeling pretty good about this shape. So I think we're almost ready for the eyeshadow. Again, while it's drying down, I'm just going to kind of buff out the edges so it's not so blunt. Still using the same brush. Okay. Okay. All right, let's move on. I could just do this all day. So there's sometimes you just gotta tell yourself to stop. So I'm just gonna use the same brush. I'm just going to wipe it down with a tissue, and I'm going to jump into, this is Atlantic Blue. So it is like a velvet textured, and I'm just going to get a bit of Fix Plus spray. Fix Plus spray is the best. So this is basically a setting spray for your makeup, but it's great to just wet your brush to enhance the color. And I'm going to pat the color on. Look how intense that blue is. Let's see. And after I have this color on, I'm going to blend with a 217 brush. But right now, I'm just going to place the blue right on top. Make sure this section is squared off. Thank you, Louise. Louise is super helpful. She's been helping me jot down exactly which product and brushes. Let's see. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm gonna pull this out. Actually, by the way, underneath this wig cap, I have 2 face tapes stretching me back. Thank goodness for face tapes. Feeling extra snatched. I probably need a couple Advils later. Let's see. Okay. Now that I have the color on, I'm going to jump into, actually, I'm gonna go for the 224 brush. And I'm going to blend out the edges. Just a little bit, break that up a little. Oftentimes with makeup, a lot of the times when people plan a whole look from head to toe, usually the day of, things completely change when you're planning a look for a client. And that's one thing I love most about the makeup industry, or just the beauty industry, is just thinking on your toes and just improvising and having fun and just kind of live in the moment. And yeah, so a lot of times I don't stress too much on planning looks, because then sometimes it just changes. So always be ready for change. So this look also was, yeah, half improvised and half like a collaboration with the whole team. Okay, so now that we have that blue on, I'm going to jump into Winkle. Now Winkle is actually a matte blue. I'm going to use the same brush, the 224, and I'm going to, I want to like blow this blue out. So I'm just going to really get in there and buff out the cobalt blue color. Let's see. You can see that's like how much it's breaking apart, which is really nice. Okay. A lot of the times too with makeup, you want to always make sure that you take a step back and look at yourself from a distance, or with your client, to always look in the mirror, because what you see face to face is always different than what you see in the mirror. So you always want to make sure to take a step back and look at the reflection of your client in the mirror, and also, of course, you know, look at all angles, because things do look different. So right now I'm going to back up a little bit and see how this looks. Okay. We are getting there. Carson, hi Carson. So satisfying to watch. This blue and shape is so gorgeous. Thank you, Carson. Miss you, girl. Okay, now I'm going to jump into the black shadow in Carbon, and I'm going to use the 217 brush here, and jumping into the black shade. Just going to dig right in there, and I'm going to set the technical liner with this. But you see how like it just goes on so smooth on top of the cream product. And I'm going to pull this out a bit. And I'm just gonna go in circular motions as well to really just get in there. Also too, with my lid, I always end up getting the tiniest little crease that's like right next to the lash line. So I just wanna go ahead and add extra shadow there just to really lock it down. I've also opted not to curl my lashes for this look because I wanted it to be more of a straight lash. So it looks a bit more androgynous, if that makes sense. I kind of wanted this look to be a bit more glam rock. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so now that we have most of that down, let me just buff this in a bit more here. Okay, one of my next favorite shades, not shades, product is Reflex Glitter. Reflex Glitter comes in a bunch of different shades. This one is just in pearl, so it's basically almost translucent. And I'm just going to kind of add a glaze of glitter all over. I like to actually just use my fingertips. It's such a fine product that you actually don't need to have an adhesive underneath. It kind of just grabs onto your skin, like the natural oils of your skin or the product, it kind of just like locks down on its own. But just for extra security, I'm going to add a layer of Fix Plus. Okay, just so there's a bit of a grip. Okay, so I'm just going to use my ring finger and I'm going to tap the product on. Oh, how satisfying. That is so satisfying. But yeah, this product is great. You could use it on top of lipsticks, mix it in with your gloss, tap it onto your shadow. It's a very versatile product. And I love how fine it is, so it almost looks a bit wet. Doesn't it look a little wet? Yeah. Also too, because oftentimes when I block my brows, you can see a slight texture of hair. And sometimes when I want to hide that, I just add glitter on top of it. So it kind of diffuses the texture of that hair. So you can't really see it as much, but it's a little bit of a theatrical trick, especially for drag or anything a bit more extreme. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. We're almost there, and we're almost to the fun part with all the stars. Yes. I'm gonna place this over the lid a little. Okay, a little bit more here. Cool. Okay, so that was Reflex Pearl. The next thing I'm gonna use is Silver Stars, and it comes like this. Silver Stars. And I actually just dumped it into a little bowl that's flat, so it's a little easier to grab. Okay, I just wanted to stare at that for a bit because it's very hypnotizing. And I'm going to apply it with just regular lash glue. So I'm going to use a bit of Duo, and I'm just going to place a little bit onto my dish. Okay. Now this little handy tool here I'm obsessed with. This is actually not a MAC product, but you can get it at any craft store. It's kind of meant for like bedazzling and putting jewels down. So it's like a bit of a pointy side, and this little end here, it's like a bit of like a rubber tip. So it just kind of picks up crystals or stickers. So it makes it really easy. If you don't have this, you could easily just use like the end of your brush or the end of a Q-tip. And I'm just going to place a bunch of dots. Look how fast that is. Boom, boom, boom. And while it's drying, I'm just going to dunk this right in here and place the stars on top of the dotted glue. Like that. Kind of want to do this quickly because the glue does dry down fast. And of course, the duo, it dries down clear. So don't you worry. You know, before I used to always like individually place each gem or sticker, or it's not sticker, little appliques, whatever. I would do it all individually with like tiny little cute tweezers. Sorry, I'm mixing up my words. Little tweezers, and it took me forever. So when I found this little thing, I'm just like, geez, this really saved me so much time. Boop. Where do those stars? Where do those stars come from? These stars it's a Mac Pro product. It is silver stars, just like this. There's also a bunch of different shapes too. I believe there are hearts, like pink and red hearts. Yeah, Mac Pro. Keep the questions coming, y'all. This is the time because now I'm just gonna take a minute to glue these down so I could definitely answer some questions. Let's see. The silver stars is really gorgeous because it's a bit iridescent. So when you move around, it's a bit like iridescent. The tool. This tool, I actually got it at like a little random craft store. Any craft store or fabric store, you could find something like this. And if in case anyone missed it, if you don't have this tool, you could easily just use a Q-tip and place the glue down, and then at the other end of the Q-tip, you could spray the other side with a bit of setting spray. So like the end of the Q-tip is a bit wet, so that also picks up the product if you're in a bind. Look how fast it is. Jeez, if this was back in the day when I did this, holy moly, it would take me forever. Okay. Thank you, Makeup Therapy. Okay, go. Also, fun fact, I started my makeup career with MAC for many years, and one of my main locations that I was at a Mac Pro store in Costa Mesa, California. And I fell in love with so many pro products, and it's just so cool to see how many options there are that you could mix around and play with. So you guys, if you guys aren't familiar with Mac Pro products, you definitely have to check out the extended line with Mac. Okay. This is very therapeutic, actually. Like, I feel like I could put stars all over someone's body and it'll just be really calming. Okay, and basically to make this look a bit more blown out, I'm gonna add some scattered stars onto the face. Maybe a bit on the nose here. Boop. Let's see. Who? Let's see. Oops. Oh, hi Gilbert. Gilbert just asked, who would you like to paint that you haven't? I would love to paint Cher. She would be one of the many amazing legends that I would love to work with. Cher and Dolly Parton. Let's see. Oh, and Grace Jones. I would love to paint Grace Jones. She is an icon and, you know, so inspirational. Who else? Oh, and Bjork. I use a bobby pin, says Ashley Peterson. Oh, genius. That's a great idea too. Bobby pin. That's perfect because it's so tiny. Let's see. Okay, we're almost there. Maybe a few more stars. Honestly, if I don't stop myself now, I might just put stars over my whole entire face, which wouldn't be bad, I guess, but I need to stop soon. This is only an hour show. Cool. All right. What do you guys think? So that is the look with the stars. I'm going to carry on to the contour and just finish that up a bit. Let's see. Again, I'm going back to my contour palette using the darkest shade, and I'm going to take a step back and look, maybe darken this side a bit by tapping it through the cheekbones. Honestly, during this lockdown, I'm sure as all of us have been doing is just eating a ton of snacks and awful junk food. So I could use all the shading I can get. So I am gonna go a little hard under here. And like I said, always make sure to pull this down and blend it. And come through room decor. Oh, thank you. What are some of your guys' go-to snacks during quarantine? I feel like everyone is kind of like stuck to the same thing for the last 4 or 5 months. Celery juice, says Karen at Quebec. That's amazing. I wish I could be that that healthy. Trader Joe's apple straws. That sounds good. My go-to snack has been beef jerky, spicy beef jerky, and spicy instant noodles. So unhealthy, but so delicious. Apples and honey peanut butter. Okay, I'm gonna set my makeup with blot powder. Blot powder is one of my go-to powders. It just has a very slight tint of color. There's no flash feedback. And it just sets the makeup beautifully, and it's very, very lightweight. And it's a great touch-up powder because it's not like heavy or cakey, so you don't look all overly dry. I'm using a 150 brush, by the way, because I got a big old face. So I need the bigger the brush, the better. you know? Okay, here we go. And I'm going to top off this look with a very simple nude lip. Okay, so I'm going to jump into Cork lip liner. I don't want this specifically for myself. I don't want this to be too perfect or too defined. So I just want to kind of do it very lightly and overdraw. So my lips look a little fuller, but I want it to look a little more lived in. So I'm gonna overdraw a little bit. Cork is a great color for a nude lip. I'm not gonna connect the sides either. I think I'm just gonna make this look a bit more round. I'm gonna exaggerate the bottom lip here. And I'm just gonna kind of blur that. Make it look a bit faint. It's a bit more of a vibe. Okay, I'm gonna kind of cut off my Cupid's bow to make it look a bit rounder. So I look like a fish from Nemo. Okay, a little there. Would chestnut work? Oh yeah, chestnut would definitely work. I love chestnut. Anything a bit more on the brown side for this look would be really nice, because we're gonna keep the lips a bit more nude and a bit more natural. Natural. Just so the focus could be on the theatrical eyes. So I'm gonna shift that around. There we go. You see, just like a little touch like that, it just makes the lips look so much fuller, but I don't want it to look too perfect. I want this look to look a little bit more, just a little bit more punk. Yeah. Okay. How do you block your brows? I really wish I could do a tutorial on how to block my brows, but we only got 1 hour. But I basically use glue stick, and I use MAC Invisible powder, translucent powder, to set it. The invisible translucent powder from MAC just completely absorbs everything. So those two together are great. And I covered it with Paint Pot, with Lay and Low Paint Pot. That's one of my favorite products to cover brows. Okay, so that's a little bit of the liner like that. And just to add a bit of shine, I'm gonna use a lip gloss. And this color is Editorial. So it's a bit more of an ashy nude. And I'm just going to apply a little bit on. Like that. And again, I'm just gonna kind of blend out the edges. Also, too, my brows are extremely coarse and they stick straight out, so I need lots of layers of glue. And I'm just gonna tap the lip gloss onto my lips so it looks a bit more lived in. Okay, and then once this is all set, I'm going to set my makeup with the Fix Plus setting spray. There's a bunch of different setting sprays. I usually like to opt for the matte setting spray, but this is the regular one because I kind of want a bit of sheen. Oh, I forgot to add, I'm so sorry. I forgot to add Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish for a bit of highlight. I added it to the other side. I completely forgot about the other side. But yeah, this is a great, it's like a soft champagne color. I'm just gonna highlight the high planes of my face. So I'm doing my cheekbones, a little bit on my bridge of my nose, a little bit here, the forehead. Chin. Is Soft and Gentle good for medium skin tones? Absolutely. Soft and Gentle is great from fair to medium, even medium dark could definitely work as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and set the makeup. Ooh, feels good, a little bit of fan. Yeah, so this is the theatrical starry makeup look. I hope you guys like it. If there are any other questions, I could definitely answer them right now. Actually, if I had a wig here, I would just plop that right on as well. But this looks kind of cool with just the wig cap. Okay. Also, too, this look was originally a stage look that I created. So we had to use a lot of powder as well to make sure this whole thing locks down on stage. Okay. Louise says, oh, there was a question, where did you get your face tapes? The face tapes you can get at any beauty supply store. I specifically got these at Nigel Beauty in Los Angeles. If you don't have face tapes, you could definitely even just use regular like, surgical tape, and you could tape it around the head. Here's a little peek. Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching my little masterclass. And thank you so much, Mac Cosmetics, for having me. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. And hopefully I could do another look next time and show you guys some more tips and tricks. All right. I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys have an amazing week, and everyone stay safe out there, wear a mask, and stay healthy. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.